Hello and welcome into Cliff Keen Arena here at Ann Arbor, Michigan. You are listening live to the Michigan Wolverines take on the Indiana Hoosiers in the second game of a doubleheader here on Volleyball Weekend at WCBN Sports Radio. I am Nabil Baig. Alongside with me is Jack Molino, my wonderful associate director of WCBN. And we are here to give you coverage of WCBN's coverage of the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan is 3-3 on the season, in their COVID shortened season, taking on the Indiana Hoosiers after they beat them yesterday.
Maddie Dow gets started here for the Wolverines. The Wolverines played the Hoosiers last night and won in 5 sets.
Maddie Dow's first serve hits the net, and point Hoosiers.
Not necessarily a good start for the Wolverines, but it's a long game.
If that's indicative of how this game is going to go, we're in for a long match. Wolverines in their L formation, number 15, Savannah Colheed to serve for the Hoosiers. Up for Petrovsky, blocked at the net, gotten back by Michigan. On the other side now, Petrovsky again, smacks it over. Hoosiers handle it. Soft touch there by number 3, Tommy Sockham. And she gets the ball over for the Hoosiers. Another point, 2-0.
Yeah, almost nice dig there by, I think it was Dowd, but nice kill there. 2-0 Hoosiers.
Colheed to serve again. Taken by Michigan. Spike chance by number 13, Kayla Bear. And the ball sails past the end line. 3 straight points for now for the Hoosiers.
Just a little high there for Kayla Bear. 3-0 Hoosiers.
Colheed serves again, handled by Michigan. Over to Pertovsky. Pertovsky spikes the ball over. Off the hands of number 19, Ashley Zloff. And the ball finally lands out of bounds for a Michigan point. Number 1, Paige Jones to serve.
Obviously the big storyline last night, Paige Jones with a record 37 program record kills last night. See if she can keep it going.
Looking for 37 more. Paige Jones handles the soft kill there by the Indiana Hoosiers. Paige Jones goes for the kill again. He gets blocked at the net. Now Jess Maruzik tries to get another kill, and the ball lands on the Indiana side, and it is another point for Michigan.
What a dig there by Hannah Grant, the starting libero for Michigan. Kept that play alive. Michigan on a 2-0 run here.
Paige Jones, another serve. Ball flies over, handled by libero for Indiana. Indiana goes for the kill, and past the end line there by Brooke Westbeld. And unfortunately, it is a miss-hit. Oh, no, it hit the line.
It did hit the line. Close call there.
Hit the line, and Indiana scores a point, 4-2. Libero for Indiana to serve now, Haley Armstrong. Handled by Paige Jones. Up for number 13, Kayla Bear. And Kayla Bear finds the open seam there for a point for Michigan, number 3-4.
Kayla Bear with 46, now 47 kills in this season. She's now serving for the Wolverines.
Ball gets sent over, handled by Indiana. Indiana up for number 3. It's Tommy Sockham. Tommy Sockham just drops it over and handled by Michigan. Over Jess Maruzik. Gets moved for the kill. Down on the end line, and she gets another point. It is tied 4-4 here early on in the first set.
Perfect set by Maddie Dowd. Set up her teammate perfectly, and the kill by Jess Robinson. Was that Jess?
Jess Maruzik. Jess Maruzik, yep.
Gotcha.
Kayla Bear serves it over. Indiana mishandles it, and the ball flies out of bounds, and Michigan has its first lead of the game, 5-4.
Usually this Cliff Keen Arena is a little louder. It's obviously pretty condensed
louder.
in here, but obviously with the pandemic, not many fans in here today.
Kayla Bear, another serve. Low dig up by Indiana. Over Tommy Sockham. Tommy Sockham sends it over. Gotten back into play by Paige Jones. Just dumps it back over and handled by Indiana. Indiana up, number 15, Savannah Colheed. Savannah Colheed finds the floor on the Michigan side, and it's 5-5 now.
What a play by Paige Jones. Nonetheless, she was basically running into her own bench, kept the play alive, but Indiana wins the point.
It's kind of fun when you see them fly off the court trying to get a ball and get it back into play. Indiana serving now. Morgan Geddes. She gets it over to Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson with an absolute slam, and no one could get that for Indiana. And another point there for Michigan, 6-5. May Pertofsky now to serve.
Jess Robinson, the sophomore from Troy, Michigan, showing her power there at the net. She absolutely slammed that one. Not a chance for the Hoosiers.
Pertofsky serves. Way out of bounds there. And easy point for the Hoosiers.
That's the second service error for the Wolverines today.
Yeah,
Two unforced
and
errors
something
today.
to watch for as we go on in this game. We don't want to see too many errors from neither team, but no one wants the errors. But these errors can come back to haunt you later in close games.
Yeah, this game, or these two teams went to 5 sets yesterday in a close one, so expecting another close one today as the Wolverines, number 10, I think that was...
Service ace there by Tommy Stockholm. Amber Beals could not handle the serve, and the ball flies out of play. First ace there for the Hoosiers, 7-6. And Tommy Stockholm to serve again. Gets the ball over. Amber Beals handle this time. Over to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson, couldn't handle it. Paige Jones just kind of bumps it over. Over now, a dump off there by Indiana. Got up by Hannah Grant. Jess Maruza goes for the spike. Handled by Indiana. Again, another play. And just set back over by Indiana. And Jess Robinson sort of mishandles the spike there. And the ball flies out of bounds. And it is now a 2-point lead for the Hoosiers, 8-6.
Not necessarily the best set there for Jess Robinson. She's kind of flying out of bounds.
Yeah.
Unable to get a good, clean look at it. Another point for the Hoosiers, 8-6, Indiana.
Another serve by Indiana. Just kind of a little bump serve by Tommy Stockham. Hits the net on the way over and could not make it over. Service error there for the Hoosiers.
Stockham had 20 kills of her own last night for the Hoosiers. Watch out for her and Paige Jones. Have another 2 good games for those players.
Abby Malinowski comes in off the bench to serve. She gets a service ace of her own right off the bat. And a beautiful serve there by Abby Malinowski. A nice change of pace serve. And we're tied at 8.
Abby Malinowski was in my history of college athletics class.
Wow.
Last year.
Well, hey.
Sat right behind me.
Abby Malinowski serves again. The ball kind of gets trapped in the net by both Jess Robinson and Indiana player. And Scotty Johnson goes for the kill. Blocked at the net by Indiana. And a great block there to stop the Michigan Wolverines from scoring another point. 9-8.
Looks like Johnson was trying to catch the Hoosiers off guard there by setting it right away. They had a few more hits left, but the Hoosiers were ready.
Savannah Colheat serves for the Wolverines. Over to Paige Jones. Paige Jones gets blocked at the net again by a duo of Britt Suden and Brooke Westbold. And wonderful stop there by Wolverine, or by the Hoosiers to stop the Wolverines. 10-8 now. Yeah,
Blackwell just denied Paige Jones right there. Nice play.
Serve over by Indiana. Hannah Grant bumps it up to Paige Jones. Spike over the net. Indiana gets it. Ball in play now. Brianna Edwards tries to go for a kill, misses. Jess Robinson now hits it over on down, and that's her second kill of the game, I believe, for Jess Robinson.
Nice backward set there by Scotty Johnson. Set up her teammate Jess Robinson perfectly. Indiana still up 10-9 here. It's the libero, Maddie Dowd, to serve here for the Wolverines.
Sends it over. Indiana handles it. Hit at the net by the Wolverines. The ball heads out of bounds, and Indiana gets a point. It's 9-11.
That was Hannah Grant on the service there, actually. And what a substitution
libero,
here.
Yes. From my hometown, Northville.
Really?
Yes, Hannah Grant.
A lot of Michigan natives here on the Michigan roster.
Yes, which is nice to see. I know Mark Rosen likes to go out and get some out of the country people even, and out of the state people too. But it's nice that he gets some homegrown talent.
I like that a lot too.
Indiana now serves. Emily Fitzner. Ball flies high in the air. Scotty Johnson over to Paige Jones. Paige Jones for the kill. Oh, way over, hits it. And the ball is another point there for the Hoosiers. 9-12 now.
Looks like Paige Jones was maybe calling for a tip there. The ref didn't see it, but ball goes flying out of bounds. Indiana has a 3-point lead, their largest lead of the game.
Fitzner serves again. Handled by Paige Jones over to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson over to May Pertofsky. May Pertofsky smacks it over and handled by Indiana. Brianna Edwards goes for the kill. blocked at the net by number 13, Kayla Bear, and goes out of bounds though, and Hoosiers got another point, 9-13, and Mark Rosen has seen enough, and he wants to call a timeout.
Pretty crazy season, obviously, for the Wolverines. They had a 2-week pause. I mean, usually volleyball is a fall and spring sport, but they've only been playing in the spring, and then they had a 2-week pause for the Wolverines to do an athletic department shutdown here at Michigan, and then they had a few other postponed games because of contract tracing within the Michigan program. So the Michigan Wolverines have only played 6 games compared to the Indiana Hoosiers, who I think I've played 15 or 16. So just one of those weird seasons, but Michigan's battling through it, looking to get above the 500 mark today at 3-3. They currently stand.
Yeah, the Wolverines are trying their best to make the season work. They wanna try to give their players and their fan a year that would have not happened had COVID not happened, and so it's kind of tough with contact tracing and everything of the sort. I remember one game earlier on in the season where Mark Rosen and Lisa Rosen both were stuck in contact tracing, and they weren't able to coach the game. And so, it's things you kind of run with. And so hopefully we see the Wolverines trying to get back on track here in the season.
A season to forget for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But hopefully, they're able to have postseason play.
Fitzner to serve again for Indiana. Handled by Hannah Grant, up to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Kayla Bear. Kayla Bear gets a smackdown. Indiana tries to get back in play. They're running all over the field, and the libero number 14, Haley Armstrong, cannot handle it. And the point now scores for Michigan, 10-13, which is my birthday.
We'll see if the Wolverines can go on a little run here.
The Wolverines have had some great runs in the past, so we'll see what they can come up with. Scotty Johnson now to serve for Michigan. Sends it over, handled by Indiana. Indiana up, sets it up. Number 8, Brooke Westbold, up for Layla Blackwell. Layla Blackwell, the freshman, just smacks it on over, and it's now 14-10. Indiana leads.
That was a powerful spike by Blackwell. She's got some height to her too. Nice play there for the Hoosiers. Every time Michigan seems like they're going to go on a run, the Hoosiers shut it down.
Yeah. Here's Ashley Zuloff serves to Michigan for the Hoosiers. Over to Michigan side. Michigan just heads it over. Libero for Indiana sets it up for the Hoosiers, and Tommy Stockham sends a spike over. Hannah Grant cannot handle it, and another point there for the Hoosiers, now up by 5 in this first set, 15-10.
The Hoosier setters are doing a fantastic job today of setting up their spikers and outside hitters very well.
Indiana sends the ball over. Kayla Bear going for the spike in between 2 Indiana Hoosiers, and the ball falls down. First point in the last 3 for Michigan, 11-15.
Jones to serve for the Wolverines, looking to dig into this 4-point lead that the Hoosiers have.
You can't get kills off serve, but her serves can be killer. Wolverines.
I think Jess Mruzek may have hit the net there for the Wolverines. Automatic point for the Hoosiers.
Yes, good call. I did not see that. I did see Jess Mruzek go for the spike, but I did not see the net. Now the libero for Indiana to serve, Haley Armstrong. Sends the ball over, handled by Paige Jones. Up by Dowd. Mary Frosty just kind of bumps the ball over. Indiana tries to catch Michigan lacking. Michigan's ready for it. Just Marusik now cross-court spike, and the ball flies out of bounds, and another point there for the Hoosiers, 17-11. Nice change of pace there by Indiana to try to catch Michigan off guard.
Biggest lead of the game for the Hoosiers, up 17-11. Michigan needs to stop this little run here.
Yeah, they need to buckle down and get some points. Haley Armstrong now serves again, handled by Paige Jones. Paige Jones, Maddie Dowd now up in the air, and Jess Mruzek just kind of backwards hits it over and gets it in. And Indiana's going straight for the cross-court kill over in the corner, and the official, right by the official actually, and he calls it out of bounds. Number 3 there, Tommy Stockham, tries to go for the kill and does not make it, and Michigan gets a point.
Libero Hannah Grant with a good eye there, lets that ball fly out of bounds,
and
the ref was right there to call it. The lead is 5 still as we reach a break here at Cliff Keen.
17-12. Looks to be an instant replay Now the Indiana coach is challenging that call on the right baseline, and we'll look to see if the challenge is successful for Steve Aird, who's in his third year for the Hoosiers. He's brought in some great talent from out of the state and in-state as well. He's an elite recruiter for them, and he has won in his career as coaching. He's won 2 national championships with Penn State as their assistant coach.
Oh, wow.
And he finally has his chance to show what he's capable of here in Indiana. It's almost it's very different from Mark Rosen, who's been here for 20 plus years. Mark and Lisa Rosen, the husband and wife couple, turned head coach, assistant coach for the Wolverines, and so.
How long has Coach Rosen's wife been coaching with him?
Same amount of time. I think 22.
And she's been the associate head coach the entire time. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see that kind of length. And you do notice that in these smaller sports, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, where you see like long-term coaches who stay for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool because the spotlight's not always on the team. And you're not always getting that, like how Harbaugh or Juwan Howard or is always getting that kind of.
It's a much higher criticized position than, but also higher paid too for that
that
reason.
Yeah.
You lose one game and they're asking for your your job,
yeah, I know.
asking for your head.
Yeah, but Mark Rosen definitely has been doing pretty well for the Wolverines. He's been getting some great NCAA tournament appearances for the Wolverines. And he's trying his best to get this Wolverine team back into the tournament this year. Along with Kobe, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll have to see as the year goes on. We're still waiting on this instant replay here. We have some wonderful music playing by our DJ, who's right next to us. She was just playing Tootsie Roll, and I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it sounds pretty good.
It's just too bad Cliff Keen is such a good place to watch a game.
Yeah, I know.
With the fans packed in here, but obviously not during these times.
The only part that's bad about Cliff Keen is the no air conditioning. When this place was built in 1800, they did not make air conditioning, and so I'm not sure why. I'm joking. I don't think it's 1800, but I'm not sure why they did not make. I'm not sure why they did not put air conditioning.
Used to be the home. It used to be the natatorium. It used to be the pool, and home of the swimming. Wonder if that had something to do with it.
Maybe.
Back here to the action. Malinowski to serve.
The call stood for the Wolverines, and so the Wolverines get the point. Hayes Jones kind of bumps it over. A kind of crazy play here for both teams, trying to get back and play. Just Maruzic sends a spike over, mishandled by Ashley Zuloff, and Wolverines get another point. 2 points in a row now for the Wolverines, 13-17. Malinowski serving again. Oh, sorry, Caleb Bear serving for the Wolverines.
Yep.
Bear serves. And that is a service ace there by the Wolverines.
I think they may challenge this one, looking for a tip there, but it looks like Rosen will.
And looks like.
No, so the point did go to the Wolverines, but then I think Indiana's going to challenge here, saying the ball was not tipped and it just flew out of bounds. I think that's what happened there.
And so Indiana decides not to call a challenge. However, they do call a timeout.
Oh, okay.
And Steve Aird is now going to talk to his team, who's lost 3 straight points, 14-17. He does not want this lead to slip away from them.
No, not at all. Something I've noticed watching a lot of sports here at the university and at other sporting venues, DV Sport has a monopoly on the instant replay technology. If you see it all the time now in basketball games. It seems like they review every other play, but they go over the referees go over to the table, and looks like the technology they have. It's the brand is DV Sport across the NBA, across the NCAA. Looks like they're everywhere, and they have the same technology here, I think, at Cliff Keen. And it gets a little annoying, especially in college basketball now. It seems like a lot of replays. Obviously, you want to keep the integrity of the game and make sure the calls are right, but sometimes it's a little much and it extends the games.
No, referee error happens,
Yeah, part of the game.
Part of the game.
So no challenge there. Michigan gets a point and back out of the timeout. Michigan's up 17-14. Blair to serve.
Kayla Bear now serves over the Indiana side. The ball gets set way too far, and actually Jess Robinson can just spike it back on over. Handled by Indiana. Up for Michigan. Paige Jones over to Pertovsky. Pertovsky serves and mishits. Michigan sends it over. Paige Jones up to Jess Maruzik. Jess Maruzik sends the ball over, and the ball is in play and wonderfully placed there by Jess Maruzik, the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in high school.
Wow.
And Michigan, #1 recruit out of Michigan for the Wolverines. Bear serves again. Indiana handles the ball. Up for number 16, Morgan Geddes. Morgan Geddes really lets Michigan have it, and they're able to get their first point in the last 5. Now 18-15.
Yeah, what a powerful strike there by
Morgan Geddes.
Geddes. Michigan, not even a chance.
Geddes serves now. Maruzik handles it. Up for Pertovsky, right on the floor. Looked like a perpendicular strike there by Pertovsky, and Indiana just cannot handle the ball. And the ball flies out of bounds. 16-18 now. Michigan's chipping closer and closer as this game has gone on. Pertovsky now to serve for the Wolverines. Pertovsky taking her 18 bounces. Pertovsky sends the ball over. Indiana mishandles it. The ball flying over to the scorer's table, and Indiana cannot find the ball back into play. Now 17-18, Michigan 1 point behind.
Michigan has Indiana's libero, Haley Armstrong, running all over the court the last few plays, trying to save a few, but unable to do so. Michigan down 1, a chance to tie the lead here.
Pertovsky taking their time. Sends the ball over. Nice downward arc on her serve. Number 15, Savannah Colheed for the Hoosiers, spikes the ball, and with so much velocity and power that it's overcompensated by Hannah Grant, who cannot handle it, and the ball flies out of bounds again.
Colheed with a really good kill percentage, 25.3% on the season, showing her efficiency right there past the Wolverines.
Tommy Stockham now to serve for the Hoosiers. Up for Scotty Johnson. Paige Jones, change of pace, dump over, hits the net, and the Wolverines have lost 2 straight. Now it's 20-17. Indiana now in the lead. Timeout, Michigan. Mark Rosen wants to talk it over. If you have noticed, the Wolverines are playing with masks on, and Indiana does not do that. I'm not sure if that has to do with maybe, contact tracing or wanting to just not like pass along any more COVID things, but I'm not sure how that works. Maybe that's what they needed to do in order to play again. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it must be. It's not a Big Ten thing, obviously, because Indiana doesn't have masks on, but it probably is a Michigan thing with their 2-week pause, and obviously they've had some COVID issues within the program itself within the last few weeks here. So they are all wearing masks, and you got to wonder if that affects play.
There's no way I could play with a mask on. I mean, jumping all over the court, running all over the court. That's a lot of breathing to go through. I mean, so it definitely is probably tough. For
it doesn't. Let's say it doesn't help. Let's say that it doesn't help.
We can't say how much it doesn't help, but we can say that it does not help.
So Michigan needs to kind of lock down a few points here, as Indiana has 25 points away from winning this first set here at Cliff Keen.
Stockholm sends the ball over, handled by Paige Jones, over to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Maruzik. Maruzik sends the ball over, spiked by the Wolverines, and Stockholm cannot handle it. The ball hits the umpire in the, I don't know what to call that, a ladder thing right by the net.
Yeah.
And the ball.
The little stool.
Yeah. And the Wolverines got a point, 18-20. Number 7, Abby Malinowski now to serve for the Wolverines. Comes off the bench. Hits the ball over. Indiana up. Spike over by number 18, Olivia Panapinto. and the ball is mishandled. I'm so sorry. Savannah Colheed went for that kill and missed. And so now here we are. Malinowski serves again. Hoosiers handle the ball. A nice dump over by Colheed. Did not get it over. Paige Jones now for the kill. Looking for a first one of the night. Has not gotten it. Now a kill over by Brianna Edwards. Handled by Michigan. Al Malinowski now spikes the ball over. And Indiana gets back in play. Blocked to the net by Wolverines. Scotty Johnson over to Paige Jones. Paige Jones looking for a kill. And blocked to the net by Hoosiers. Handle it off change pace. Wolverines get it all right off the floor.
Keep it alive.
And the Hoosiers get the ball back into play. Another spike and chance by number 11, Brianna Edwards, out of bounds. Point by Michigan. Great point there for the Wolverines. Through adversity, getting the ball back into play over and over again. And finally getting that unforced error there by the Hoosiers. 20-20 now here in the late stages of the first set.
Hannah Grant and Amber Beals keeping that play alive for the Wolverines. It's a tie game here.
Beautiful point. Wolverine sends the ball over. Indiana spikes it back. Handled by Hannah Grant. And ball's blocked at the net there by number 8, Brooke Westbold. And the ball falls into play on the Michigan side. 21-20 now for the Hoosiers.
Paige Jones unable to get it past that block attempt. Nice play at the net there for the Hoosiers.
Paige Jones has a rough time today getting any kills.
Yeah, compared to 37 last night.
Yeah. Hoosiers spikes the ball in her serve. The ball kind of sails here in the air-conditioned lists. Cliff Keen Arena. Sophie Oliphant tries to get the ball over in her serve, and the ball sails way over the end line. It is now 21-21 here. Hannah Grant now to serve for the Wolverines.
Michigan looking for possibly their first lead of the game, I think.
Yeah. Oh, second lead. Yep.
Did they have it early?
They had one at like 5-4 early on in the first quarter, or first set, but it's still, they have not led much in this first set, I will say. Hannah Grant now serves. Indiana handles the ball. Big spike attempt by Brianna Edwards. Mishandled by Malinowski. And 22-21 now for Indiana.
Edwards with a decent spike there, handled well by Michigan. Or decent by Michigan, I guess not good enough.
Yeah.
Indiana takes the lead. 22-21. Big point here.
Fitzner now to serve for Indiana. Ball's in play. Paige Jones handles it, digs it out. Scotty Johnson up to Malinowski. Kind of an awkward position, but she sets it over. Indiana sets the ball up for number 24, Layla Blackwell. She just kind of taps it over into an area where nowhere Michigan player was standing. And an easy point there for the Hoosiers. 23-21 now. Fitzner serving again.
Yeah, not a clean play. It looks like Malinowski kind of had to just tap it over.
Fitzner serves. The ball sails again. Unforced error on her service. 22-23 now for Wolverines behind 1 point. Scotty Johnson now to serve for the Wolverines.
Scotty Johnson with an 87.4% service rate here. We'll see if she can get one in and if the Wolverines can retake this lead.
Corner serve there for Scotty Johnson. Libero gets it back into play, and Blackwell just kind of taps it over. Spike attempt for May Pertovsky. Pertovsky gets it right on the floor there on the Indiana side. Tie game again, 23-23. And here we are in the late stages again of another close set between Indiana and Michigan. And Indiana coach Steve Aird takes a timeout.
23-23. Michael Jordan, you knew this was going to be a good set. It's been close basically the entire set. Michigan was trailing for probably most of it, but not by more than, I think, 3 or 4 points. And a big few points here. Yeah.
It's pretty great to see from Michigan to battle back, but also to see Indiana kind of like just holding their own, like by keeping this game ahead the most of the time and making Michigan battle back.
Yeah.
And in volleyball, you have to win by 2. So you cannot win 25-24. So in order for someone to win this set 25-23, they have to win the next 2 points consecutive. And whoever wins by 2 wins this first set and will start the second set up 1-0.
So Michigan next week will play Ohio State. Not sure how exactly the schedule is working for Michigan this year in terms of making up a lot of those missed games during the 2-week pause, and then some of the other games they missed after it with contract tracing problems. But I'm sure they'll try to make up as many as possible before postseason starts.
But yes, they're going on the road for the first time in a while.
Oh, wow.
So it's Scotty Johnson now to serve for the Wolverines. Dead silent here in Cliff Clean. The ball gets off the elbow of an Indiana player. Back in play, though, for the Indiana. Gets it in. Scotty Johnson out to May Protofsky. Down the line. Right down on the line there for Wolverines. And 24-23. Great play by May Protofsky to find the lane down the line.
Looks like the Indiana players, especially Haley Armstrong, are looking for a challenge, but it looks like Indiana will not challenge. Michigan now has the lead 24-23, a chance to steal this first set here.
Set point here for the Wolverines. Scotty Johnson serves, handled by the libero Haley Armstrong. Up for Blackwell. She misses the spike attempt. And Paige Jones tries to spike the ball. The ball hits those small poles there on the net, and that pole means it's out. And now it's tie game, 24-24. Indiana now is serving.
Jones with a clean look there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate miss hit.
Indiana serves. Scotty Johnson up. Kayla Bear gets a spike over, hit over by Blackwell at the net, and the ball sails out of bounds. 25-24 now. And Michigan another chance to win on a set point.
Kayla Bear using her height there, just an absolute perfect set. And ball goes out of bounds off the Hoosiers. Another set point here for the Wolverines. See if they can capitalize this one and close it out.
Yeah. And Mark Rosen sending in a new player in this first set, Brooke Humphrey, to serve. She has not served this first set. Looking to be a little bit different here. Beautiful play right off the net. The libero tries to get the ball in play. And it is wonderfully spiked over by Tommy Sockham. And the ball lands out of bounds, however, tipped by a Michigan player. And Indiana gets another point, 25-25 now here. Still looking for someone to win two straight. The libero for Indiana, Haley Armstrong now to serve.
Tie game again. Armstrong to serve for the Hoosiers.
Sets the ball over. Paige Jones, kind of a miss hit on the bump. Over to just Maruzik. Maruzik sends the spike over, handled by Indiana. Now Tommy Sockham spikes the ball, handled by Michigan again. Jess Maruzik blocked to the net. May Protofsky bumps it up again. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Maruzik. Maruzik kind of just does tap over, and Indiana handles it. Now number 16, Geddes, tries to get the ball over. Michigan's playing all over the floor, and Michigan cannot get all this pinball machine action over the net. And Indiana gets another point, 26-25. And Indiana now serving for the set. Haley Armstrong. Great play there by Indiana to find Michigan players off guard. And the ball just kind of pinned around.
Making you work hard, Nabil, right there.
No, I don't even. Haley Armstrong. Now to serve. Scotty Johnson up to May Protofsky. Protofsky spikes the ball down right in the middle of the floor. And another point there for Michigan, 26-26 here late in the first set. And it looks like we're going to be playing a set number 2 in set number 1. Going back and forth. Kayla Bear now to serve for the Wolverines. Sends the ball over. Handled by Indiana. Up at the net. Over number 16, Geddes. Michigan gets the ball into play. Maruzik now sets her own chance. And she finds a play right by the sprawling libero Haley Armstrong. The ball lands inside. 27-26 now Wolverines. Kayla Bear now to serve.
Nice kill there by Mariznik. Or how do you pronounce that?
Maruzik, just Maruzik.
Maruzik. And it's going to be Bear to serve again. 27-26. Another set point for Michigan, their third.
Bear gets the ball over. Indiana handles it. Up for Brianna Edwards. And Paige Jones goes right off her knuckles, kind of out of bounds towards the coach's box. And another point there for the Hoosiers. 27-27 now. Whoever loses the set is going to be in for a rough time.
Yeah. Jess Robinson back in for the Wolverines here.
Morgan Geddes now to serve for Indiana. Right off Paige Jones' face almost. And the ball kind of rattles off into play. Paige Jones looked like she was not ready for the ball to come whizzing at her like that. And Indiana scores a point, 28-27 now. Geddes to serve again for the Hoosiers. Sends the ball over. Paige Jones handles it up in the air. Scotty Johnson up to May Pertovsky. Blocked to the net. Over on the Indiana side. Point Michigan again. 28-28 here now. May Pertovsky to take her turn serving. Lisa Rosen yelling at her team, imploring them to try scoring a point. And May Pertovsky now will try her best to serve. She serves the ball over. Indiana lets the ball go. And it looks like it was tipped off an Indiana player out of bounds. And that's a service ace there by the Wolverines. 29-28. Michigan now set point number 5. Pertovsky sends the ball over. Indiana gets the ball high in the air. Up to number 3. Tommy Sockham, handled by Michigan. Scotty Johnson over to Jess Maruzik. Maruzik goes, Haley Armstrong handled it. Over there by Brooke Westfold. Gets the ball back into play. Paige Jones up to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Maruzik. Maruzik gets the ball over, blocked by Indiana. Indiana's running all over the floor trying to get the ball back into play. It's out of bounds. Set point Wolverines. Set number 1.
Not
Michigan.
The cleanest set for the Wolverines whatsoever, but they kind of grind it out there, and a win is a win. So Michigan will go up 1-0 here, and a crazy last about 10 points there. I think Michigan tied at 23-23, ended up taking the lead 24-23, but you got to win by 2, like you said, Nabil, and Michigan wins it 30-28. But Paige Jones, just really not the cleanest game for her today.
She's had a rougher game.
Yeah, in terms of a few digs she missed, and then obviously she only has one kill tonight compared to 27 in a 5-set match last night. So the Wolverines definitely
she might be tired of playing 5 sets, 37 kills. You know, this game is in 22 hours instead of 24 hours. This game got moved up to 4 o'clock, and so maybe she's just a little bit tired coming out here today. We can't really say we don't live inside her head out here, but she has not looked like her normal Paige Jones self. However, this Michigan team has definitely come back, and they played really well towards the end of that first set. And Mark Rosen and Lisa Rosen have to be happy with the way they're playing. Steve Aird has a lot to work on with Indiana in these next 2 minutes to talk to them how to close out the game strong. They were up by quite a bit coming out here, and so unfortunate end to the first set. However, he has to be happy with the way they played early on in the first set, and hopefully they can come back on the second set and play the same way.
All things are pointing towards another 5-set match in this one. That was about as close as you get in that first set. Paige Jones, a junior from New Bremen, Ohio, has a ton of prep awards, 4-year Leto winner, holds Ohio record for kills in a match and kills in a season. So she continues her dominance in terms of kills. She obviously last night, as we said before, set a program record, 37 kills in 1 match. I think she only has 1 today, but she is a star player for the Wolverines, and if Coach Rosen can get her going, it looks like the Wolverines can maybe win this one, up 1-0. We'll take a quick break here with 45 seconds before we start the second set.
And we are back here for set number 2, Cliff Keen Arena. Not as hot as usual.
No.
It usually gets pretty hot by like the 4th set. Michigan playing their second game, a doubleheader against Indiana. If you're just joining us, Michigan won the first set 30-28, almost in overtime basically, double overtime if you want to call it that. And here we are. Second set.
Michigan won their first 2 sets last night versus the Hoosiers, lost set 3 and 4, and then came back in the 5th set to win it. So the back and forth continues here at Cliff Keen.
Yep.
See if Michigan can go up 2-0 again and maybe even close it out 3-0. We'll see. But this has been such a good match. Not the cleanest match, I'd say, for both sides. I think Michigan actually, or Indiana probably played a cleaner set there, but Michigan kind of came up with some clutch points at the end to take it 1-0.
Volleyball is a game of momentum. Michigan has the momentum coming into the second set, but with the break in between sets, momentum can easily shift. Indiana now serves for the first time. Scotty Johnson up to Maruzic. Maruzic taps the ball over, and the ball lands outside the left baseline. And first point for the second set goes to the Hoosiers. Ashley Zuloff now to serve for Indiana. She serves at the net, handled by Dowd. Over to Pertovsky. Pertovsky gets the ball right over to Zuloff, and it just flops off her hands, and the ball lands on the floor. 1-1 now. Kayla Bear now to serve.
Bear's been pretty good with her service today. Gets this one in.
Floater serve there, handled by Indiana. Up for number 16, Geddes. And Geddes hits the net on her spike attempt. Point Michigan 2-1. Bear now to serve again for the Wolverines. Handled by Indiana. Westbold up in the air to number 16, Morgan Geddes again. And the ball flies off of Kayla Bear's hands. A lot of velocity and power on that spike by Geddes. And great point there for the Hoosiers, 2-2. That's the Hoosier brand of volleyball, I'm assuming, is an easy kill. But they have not gotten that chance. Haley Armstrong now, libero, sets the ball over. Up for Scotty Johnson, up to Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson, easy money there on her spike. And 3-2 now for the Wolverines.
Powerful set there, or spike there by Jess Robinson.
Jess Robinson has so much power in her swing, downswing on that spike. Pertovsky now to serve for the Wolverines. Great serve there. Up in the air by Westbold. Westbold over to Geddes. Geddes finds an open area on the Michigan side. 3-3, Indiana and Michigan exchanging points here early on in the second set.
Geddes now after the clean spike to serve for Indiana. 3-3 here. Geddes 81.5% service as she probably lowers that percentage there.
As she dumps one to that announcer jinx there by our very own Jack Molino. And Morgan Geddes, unforced error on her serve. And Michigan now has the lead 4-3. Jess Maruzic to serve. Maruzic sends the ball over, handled by Indiana, up by Westbold. Westbold over to number 15, Savannah Colheed. Colheed kind of sails the ball on her spike, and a point there for Michigan. First 2-point lead here for either team, 5-3.
Colheed got a really good look at that, just sent it over. Michigan takes advantage, looking for a 3-point lead here early in the second set.
Maruzic now, handled by Indiana. Set up by Westbold. And looked like Scotty Johnson almost got there on her dig attempt, but the ball was called, hit the floor by the official. 5-4 now.
Same exact play there for Indiana. Westbold kind of set it up there for Colheed, who just now dumps it over instead of spiking it. And it tricked the Wolverines. 5-4, Michigan still has the lead.
Maruzic handles the serve. Hannah Grant up to Paige Jones. Paige Jones goes to the kill. They're looking for a tip at the net, did not get it. The ball sails out of bounds. Indiana point, 5-5 now. We talked about, I've said Westbold's name a lot. The setter for Indiana, she's the senior of the bunch, and she's also the captain. And so she keeps them all on track out here on the floor for Indiana. Indiana serves the ball over. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Robinson, blocked at the net. Hannah Grant tries to set the ball. Miss Maruzic, a little miscommunication there, and they still got the ball over. But Indiana goes for the kill. Number 11, Brianna Edwards, and she's able to find an open lane there on the opposite side. Michigan, a little miscommunication between Hannah Grant and Maruzik there, but are able to now get back into play. 6-5 now, Indiana.
Nice diagonal cross-court spike there. Caught the Wolverines off guard. 3-point swing here for the Hoosiers as Jess Robinson almost slams it there.
Michigan trying to get the ball back into play. And Paige Jones looking for another kill, but did not get it. Handled by Westbeld. Westbeld up in the air. Westbeld just kind of dumps the ball over. That senior mentality, looking for in the open play and the right play rather than setting the ball up. And she finds an open lane. 7-5 now. 4 straight points for the Hoosiers off of Tommy Stockham's service.
Yeah, Westbeld been doing everything for the Hoosiers there. Yeah. Now a 4-0 run here for the Hoosiers. They're looking to extend it to a 3-point lead. See if Michigan can stop the bleeding.
Stockham serves the ball. The ball hits the net and just kind of falls on the Indiana side. Service error there for Tommy Stockham. Too light on that hit. 6-7 now, Michigan behind.
The libero for the Wolverines.
Hannah Grant.
Hannah Grant to serve here.
Serves the ball over. Handled by Haley Armstrong. Up for Westbeld. Over to Edwards. Spike the ball over, and Michigan handles it. Paige Jones looking for another kill. Did not get the tip there by the officials, and the ball sails again out of bounds. And 8-6 now for the Hoosiers. Mark Rosen thought about challenging it, but did not. And 8-6 is the final score after that play. The Hoosiers serve the ball over. Colheed serves the ball. Scotty Johnson tries to get the ball up, blocked at the net. The ball hits the net, and Scotty Johnson gets the ball back, but back over to Michigan. Indiana spikes the ball over. Hannah Grant could not handle the pass, and it goes out of bounds. 9-6 now for the Hoosiers, up early in the second set. And Michigan wants to talk things over. Mark Rosen calls a timeout, which has helped. Whenever Michigan is kind of like falling behind, Mark Rosen calls timeouts, and he gets them back into form a little bit after that.
Yeah, 100%. That's a sign of a good coach, knowing when to call a timeout and then also what to do out of a timeout. They used the timeouts pretty wisely there in the first set. But Indiana really just kind of winning this set, especially at the net. They're winning that part of the game, I think. It seems like they have better setups and then some stronger spikes, and Michigan just unable to handle some of the strong spikes there by Indiana, and that's why they're up 9-6.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Indiana has played much better in the second set than they did at the end of the first set.
Yeah.
So they definitely took heed of their coach's advice, as I'm sure he nailed into them at the break. And here they are leading.
We'll see if the Wolverines can make some adjustments out of that timeout. Coach Rosen, let's see. Actually, I think there was a substitution for the Wolverines. I think Jess Mrozek subs in.
And Brooke Humphreys also in for the Wolverines.
Oh, yeah.
Number 15, Savannah Colheed now to serve. Sends the ball over. Right at the outstretched hands of Jess Mrozek. Falls on the floor. Service ace there for the Hoosiers. Now leading 10-6. Indiana bench is loving it here.
Nice serve there by Colheed. Really good service percentage on the year.
Colheed serves again. Over to Brooke Humphrey now. Scotty Johnson up to Paige Jones, cross court, blocked to the net. Paige Jones gets the ball over. Paige Jones gets the ball back up to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson tries to go for her own kill in her own right and slams the ball a little bit too far. 11-6 now for the Hoosiers.
Michigan did fight back from a 5-point lead in the first set. They'll have to do it again if they want to win this one.
Indiana sends the ball over. Scotty Johnson up to Maruzik. Maruzik comes in flying off the bench. Flying off the backcourt. And there's so much power on that ball. When Indiana tries to set the ball back up in the air, the ball kind of just flew out of bounds. 7-11 now. God, what a great score, 7-11.
Yeah, maybe that's the spark that Michigan needs right here. Really good
slurpee.
point. Yeah.
Scotty Johnson now to serve. Scotty Johnson sends the ball over. Indiana lets the ball sail past them. The ball flies out of bounds. Service error there by the Wolverines. 12-7 now. Indiana leads.
Michigan looks a little deflated here after some unforced errors.
Yeah.
Indiana also with a chance. Let's see if they can keep their foot on the gas pedal and they can really extend this lead.
Fitzner serving now for the Hoosiers. Maruzic bumps the ball back on the Indiana side. Handled by Haley Armstrong. Haley Armstrong up for number 16, Morgan Geddes. Morgan Geddes tries for her kill in her own right, and the ball sails out of bounds. And point Michigan, 8-12 now.
Malinowski to check in for Paige Jones, and Malinowski will serve this one.
Malinowski, a serving specialist here this evening. Haley Armstrong has the ball, off for Westfeld. Westfeld up to Edwards. Edwards tries just tapping it over, and the ball goes out of bounds. 9-12 now.
Yeah, Indiana has tried that a few times with that soft little set over the net, but Michigan ready for that one. 3-point lead now.
You can only catch someone off guard so many times in a game.
Yeah.
Malinowski serves. Indiana sends the ball back. Michigan now sends the ball back over. Indiana going for another kill. Hopped up at the net by just Maruzic. Maruzic up to Malinowski for her own spike. Blocked the net right down on the Michigan side by Indiana. Point there, 13-9. Indiana leads. Good attempt there by Michigan, but great block attempt.
Yeah, better play by Blackwell. Michigan can't seem to dig into this 4-point lead. Let's see if they can do it here. Indiana
serves ball over. Pertosky now, cross-court serve. Cross-court kill. Looks like the ball was hit at the net there. An Indiana player hit the net there, and an error that the official called. 10-13, my birthday again. And here we are. Kayla Bear serving for the Wolverines now. Caught up there by Westbell. Westbell sets it up. Geddes tries just dumping the ball over to Maruzic. Maruzic hits a spike and is blocked in up by Indiana. Handled, and a spike attempt by Indiana. Handled by Michigan. Yes, Robinson looking for a ball a little higher. A little miscommunication. Didn't get the ball over as clean as she would have liked. Heidi Johnson, great dig there. Up for just Maruzic. Maruzic just kind of dumps the ball over. Indiana sets again. Westbell over. Great play there by Layla Blackwell. And a great kill for the Indiana Hoosiers, 14-10. Good play by both sides. A little miscommunication on Michigan's side, but Michigan was able to get the ball back into play. Great dig there by Scotty Johnson.
Yeah, to keep the play alive.
Looked like Dennis Rodman. Haley Armstrong now to serve for the Indiana Hoosiers. She kind of sails the ball past the end line on the Michigan side, and it is an unforced error. 11-14 now for the Wolverines.
Pertosky to serve. She's been good tonight.
She has those two little buns off her head.
Yeah.
Up to serve. Serves the ball up.
Whoa. Weird play.
Yeah, weird looking set there by Tommy Stockham. There was a lot of speed on that serve by Pertosky.
Looked like she was uncertain about if she was gonna bump it or set it. It was kind of a hybrid and sets it out of bounds. The lead is down to 2. Pertosky to serve again.
12-14 now. Michigan trying to chip away like they did last set. Pertosky gets the ball into play. A great serve again. The ball hits off the rafters. The ball's still in play. And the ball, number 19, Ashley Zuloff, from the absolute end side of the floor, tried hitting a backwards bump all the way into the back end of play. However, did not make it. And the ball is Michigan's now. 13-14. Pertosky to serve again.
This is a fourth serve in a row, a chance to tie the game.
Pertosky now handled by Indiana this time. Up for number 3, Tommy Stockham. Trying to go for her own kill. Blocked to the net by Michigan. Tie game 14-14. Steve Arrett has seen enough again, and he is back calling a timeout. Here we are, tie game 14-14. Michigan's able to fight back in this. You had 5 points, and they did it again.
Yeah, we actually had the same scores. It's been very similar to the scoring of the first set. Michigan was down 10-13 in the first and here in the second. Now it's 14-14. And Pertosky with now 5 serves in a row, leading this Michigan team back in it.
And if you look at the Indiana Hoosiers, they have not played many players this evening. They played Stockham, they played Westfeld, they played Edwards, they played Armstrong, They played Colheed and Geddes and Blackwell, but on Michigan side, you've seen everyone pretty much come out. You've seen Paige Jones, Brooke Humphrey, Scotty Johnson, Jess Maruzik, Maddie Dowd, Malinowski. You've seen Beals, you've seen Grant, you've seen Protosky, you've seen Robinson, you've seen Kendall Murray. Sorry, not Kendall Murray. You've seen everyone besides Kendall Murray, basically, and you definitely like to see so many players coming out here for the Wolverines and being able to play their part in this match. However, you're wondering if Indiana may be getting a little tired because they keep playing some of the same players over and over again for a lot of points.
I'm sure some of that also has to do with, Michigan's a little earlier in their season, considering they've only played 6 games. So
sure.
Rosen's still trying to figure out what the best combinations and best lineups for his team are. But also, more fresh legs for Michigan as well.
Protosky serves, hits the net there, unforced error by Protosky coming out of the timeout. 15-14 now, Indiana leads. Morgan Geddes now to serve for the Hoosiers.
Brooke Humphrey checks in for the Wolverines. Geddes. Yeah, Geddes to serve.
Beautiful low serve there by Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Maruzik. Maruzik right down the throat of Indiana, and 15-15 now.
Perfect setup there by Scotty Johnson,
Yeah.
and Maruzik just slams it over. She's up to serve now. Michigan with a chance to take the lead here in the second set, looking like the the first set.
Maruzik to serve now for the Wolverines. Up in the air by Indiana. Scott Westbeld hits it up in the air back to Hoosiers. The Hoosiers trying to get the ball back into play and do not get a good set. Just Robinson gets a very clean set there by Scotty Johnson and finds an open lane. Point Michigan, 16-15. First lead of the second set.
Just Robinson, the middle blocker, but she can slam it over too. Very powerful. Michigan has the lead. Maruzik to serve again.
Maruzik sends a slicing set over. Up for Brianna Edwards for a spike attempt. Hannah Grant cannot handle it, cannot dig the ball back up in the air. And great spike there by Brianna Edwards. And 16-16 now. Tommy Stockham to serve for Indiana.
Yeah, Edwards even a few feet back there behind the yellow line.
Yeah.
Nice spike there. Tie game again.
Stockham serves. Handled by Brooke Humphrey. Scotty Johnson up to Maruzik. Maruzik just bumps the ball over. And Indiana getting the ball high in the air to Westbeld. And Westbeld just kind of dumps the ball over. Easy point there for the senior captain.
With her left hand, too. Nice play there.
17-16.
Michigan's got to keep an eye on that. She's done that a few times tonight.
Serve by Indiana. Scotty Johnson sets the ball up. Paige Jones looking for another kill. And gets blocked at the net. Up for number 15. Savannah Colheed. The ball hits the net, and Indiana touches it a fourth time. And that is a, what do you call that? Mistake? Error?
Yeah.
Foul. We'll call it a foul. It is a foul on Indiana. And so 17-17 now. Hannah Grant to serve. Hannah Grant serves the ball over. The ball flies out of bounds. Beautifully called there by the libero, Haley Armstrong of Indiana. And she was able to get another point there on an unforced error on the service. 18-17 now.
Blackwell back in for the Hoosiers as they have the 1 point lead here.
And Colheed now to serve for the Hoosiers. Ball flies in the air. Paige Jones hits the ball. Hannah Grant gets the ball over. And Paige Jones spikes the ball. Handled by Indiana. Up by Westbeld. Westbeld up to Tommy Stockham. Great spike there at the net. And that's 2 straight points there for the Hoosiers. 19-17.
Yeah, the Hoosiers have a few big freshmen on this roster.
Yeah.
Stockham, freshman from Las Vegas, and Colheed, the freshman from Texas, showing their freshman prowess, I guess. And now Indiana with a 2 point lead, looking to make it 3.
Some great recruiting there by Steve Aird.
Yeah.
Paige Jones now for the kill after the bump by Scotty Johnson. Handled by Indiana. Indiana tries to get the ball back. Handled by Michigan. Scotty Johnson up to Kayla Bear. Kayla Bear spikes the ball, and looks like looks like an Indiana player tipped the net on that play, and that's a foul there on Indiana. 18-19 now. Michigan. Scotty Johnson to serve.
Yeah,
looking to be another close game. Looking close set.
Yeah, Kayla Bear with a nice play there. I really like when they get her involved. Seems like good things happen when she touches the ball.
Scotty Johnson now sends the ball over. Libero, Haley Armstrong calls for it. Flying in there for the spike attempt is number 16, Morgan Geddes. The ball is blocked at the net by the Wolverines, and the ball falls out of bounds on the Indiana side. 20-18 now Indiana leads. Steve Aird calling out a play for his Hoosiers.
Geddes, yet another freshman for the Hoosiers from Ohio. Nice play there.
Fissner serves, handled by Bear. Bear up to just Maruzic. Maruzic dumps ball over and handled by Indiana. Indiana now, Morgan Geddes going for the cross-court spike, finds the beautiful opening there on the Michigan side. 21-18 now. Mark Rosen calls timeout.
A nice play there by, I think it was Geddes again.
Yep.
And Scotty Johnson, just really no chance with that one.
Yeah.
But Michigan, once again, in the first set, didn't look like it was very clean, but once Indiana got to 20-21 points, they decided to turn it on. So they'll have to press whatever button Rosen pressed in the first set again to get his team going here. Indiana, surprisingly, only has a 3-point lead. I feel like they played, once again, a much cleaner set here.
Michigan has done a good job of fighting back and clawing back every chance they can when they're behind. But they're definitely still learning how to not fall behind in games, which I feel like is something that will come with time. Indiana has trouble kind of finishing out games, and that wasn't trouble last night when they were down 2 sets.
Yeah.
They had to do that exact opposite. So we'll see how this ends up playing out.
Yep, Pertosky had a little 5-0 run when she was serving.
We'll look to see if she comes back at some point.
Let's see if we can get her serving again. But Indiana in full control of this set, 21-18.
Fissner to serve.
Sophomore from Torrey Pines, California.
Fissner, light serve over, handled by Bear. Up Scotty Johnson. Pertosky now cross court. Dug up by Indiana. Now Morgan Geddes sets the ball over for Indiana. And Paige Jones gets her first kill of the second set here. And
they needed that in the worst way.
Yeah, great kill there by Paige Jones. Able to handle that. 19-21 now. And we have Malinowski, Abby Malinowski to serve.
Yes, she checks right in for Paige Jones, who just had the kill. But Malinowski's a serving specialist. Let's see what she can do here.
Malinowski, nice slicing serve. Spike there by Blackwell, handled by Indiana. Sort of a miss-hit there by Blackwell on the spike. And the ball kind of flutters on over on the Michigan side. Michigan was not expecting that in the least. Sometimes miss-hits are in your favor. And 22-19 now lead for Indiana.
Blackwell, another freshman for Indiana with the miss-hit there, but you're right, sometimes things just work out.
Zulov serving for Indiana.
Wow, Pertosky.
Great play there by Pertosky after the spike after the set by Scotty Johnson. And Pertosky has fought her way into this game as being the #1 player for Michigan. And 20-22. Kayla Bear to serve.
Big point here for Michigan.
Kayla Bear gets the ball in play. Indiana up Westfeld. Westfeld up to number 24, Layla Blackwell. And she's able to spike the ball right down the middle on the Michigan side. 23-20 now. And Indiana Hoosiers are 2 points away. The libero, Haley Armstrong, to serve. Haley Armstrong sends the ball in the air. Over Malinowski. Grant over to Maruzic. Blocked at the net, right on the Michigan side. 24-20 now, 4-point lead. Set point, 4 set points here for the Indiana Hoosiers.
I think it was Geddes and Colheed combined there for the block there. Both freshmen, really strong play.
Yeah.
Indiana with 4 set points here, I guess 3 set points.
Haley Armstrong service ace to win the second set. 25-20. Beautiful change of pace service. Completely caught Michigan lacking, I would say. And Easy point there for the Hoosiers.
Wow, what a
25-20
play.
now. 5-minute break here between the second and third set as the Hoosiers head to the locker room and Michigan stays out here to talk things over.
Yeah, really good play there by Armstrong. Caught Michigan off guard, and Indiana takes the second set 25-20 to even the series 1-1. We'll be back in a few minutes here at Cliff Keen. 1-1. Good game here so far.
Here we are back for the third set now.
Michigan lost the second set, 25-20. It is even here.
Brooke Humphrey serve for the Wolverines. Spike there at the net by number 8, Brooke Westbeld. And the Hoosiers are in control early on, 1-0.
Picking up exactly where they left off.
And they look real happy and fun to be out there playing right now. The Wolverines' body language is not the same. Jess Maruzik now tries to get a spike over for the Wolverines, and it is unable to be handled by Indiana. Indiana is flying all over the court there, trying to get that ball back in play.
I think one of the funnier things with volleyball is the ball can just kind of be played anywhere. So you got people running
all
out of bounds, and each court, each venue is different. So
Kayla Bear now to serve for the Wolverines. Got a Westbeld over to Edwards. And Edwards handles the ball, but over to Protowski now, dump over. Nice dig there by Haley Armstrong. Beautifully back in play by Westbeld. Westbeld over to mate Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson now with her straight up 75-degree angle spike. And it is right down to the play. 2-1 now, 2 straight points for the Wolverines.
Yeah, perfect dig. Scotty Johnson with a perfect set to Jess Robinson, who slams it. Michigan has an early lead here in the third set.
Kayla Bear handled by Armstrong. Now the spike attempt there by Tommy Stockham, and it is out of bounds. 3-1 now. Michigan leads.
Just a bit too far for Stockham. Bear to serve again.
Kayla Bear sends the ball over. Haley Armstrong handles it. Westbeld sets up the ball up in the air. For Ashley Zuloff. Zuloff tries to get the ball over, and just Maruzik tries to swerve away from the net, but sets the ball back into play. And handled by Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Protowski. Protowski kind of just hits the ball kind of out of play and out of the reach of Brooke Humphrey and Jess Maruzik, who were running to get the ball, and they could not get it.
Yeah, a bit of an errant bump there by Scotty Johnson. Michigan unable to recover. Armstrong to serve for the Hoosiers.
Armstrong sends the ball over. Handled by Maruzik. Maruzik up to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson, Jess Robinson. Right at the net, blocked there by Savannah Colheed, but it falls on the Indiana side after the block. 4-2 now. Great kill there by Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson and Mae Protowski have had the most kills this evening for the Wolverines. And Payne Jones is currently not on the floor. Protowski to serve for the Wolverines. Set up there by Westbeld. Westbeld over to Geddes. Geddes gets a set by Wolverines, gets back and play on the Indiana side. And looks like an Indiana player touches the net. And it is a miss hit there. And
I think it was Colheed who may have touched it. So Michigan gets a freebie there.
Yep. 5-2 now. Protowski, another point on her serve. She's done probably the best for the Wolverines so far on her own service. Protowski runs up, sends the ball over. Westbeld sets the ball up in the air over to the Wolverine side. Maruzik gets the ball back into play. Humphrey just dumps the ball over. Haley Armstrong sets the ball up. Number 3, Tommy Stockham goes for the kill. They're looking for a tip. They do not get a tip call. And the ball flies out of bounds. 7-2 now for the Wolverines. And Steve Aird looks like he's challenging the call, and he will. He will challenge the call on a tip at the net by the Wolverines. The officials did not see that. However, they will still look for it on the replay.
It looks like it was Humphrey and Grant on the back line there. They let it go out. It was obviously out, but I think the challenge is whether it was tipped or not.
On the tip of the net, yeah. I'm not sure. I did not see any tip of the net. However, Indiana seemed like they were adamant that there was a tip there, and Steve Aird bought in, and he's going for the challenge.
It's funny always watching the players plead their case to not the refs, but they're actually their own coach to challenge it. And Indiana looked pretty confident here that this ball was tipped, and obviously the biggest indicator there is the change of the spin or rotation of the ball. But you'd wonder, I mean, this is not a football or basketball game where they have 20 cameras in here doing the game.
Yeah.
It's not, Fox or CBS is not covering this game, so I wonder how many cameras they do have in here for the official to look at the replay.
I'm not sure. I'm looking around. I don't see many cameras here.
It may just be one that's used for this stream.
There might be a couple around the arena trying to look for stuff, but they have some sort of something out here, so I'm sure maybe the referees have some on the net and also on the end lines maybe.
Yeah.
But from our vantage point, we do not see that.
The official still at the scores table looking at the replay. The
Great.
point was awarded to Michigan, so the call on the floor was Michigan point, so they'll need to overturn that with indisputable evidence, and here comes the call.
Yep.
Michigan is confirmed the winner of the point, so they'll keep their 4-point lead. They're up 6-2.
Call stays.
Michigan off to a much better start than the first 2 sets.
Yes. And in order to win volleyball, you have to win 3 sets, so this game is going to set number 4 at the very least, and so we'll see how Michigan handles this third set. 6-2 now. Krotowski serves again, handled by the Indiana Hoosiers. Up in the air, spike attempt by Spolheed, misses. Krotowski now spike attempt, gets the ball way out of bounds there off an Indiana player. Indiana cannot run after it, and another point there for Michigan, 7-2 now. And they are well in control of this first set early on. However, as we've seen in volleyball, anything can happen.
Ashley Zuloff was running after that one.
Yeah.
She's from my hometown, Wheaton, Illinois, actually,
Oh,
from
wow,
St.
okay.
Francis, which is the kind of the local Catholic school in town.
Pretty exciting. Look at this hometowns
Yeah.
over here.
Do not know.
You
do
know
not know.
Malinowski from class. you know.
Yeah.
But Ashley Zuloff has played pretty well this evening for the Hoosiers. She's not starting for the Hoosiers, but she has played pretty well here as she's coming off the bench.
Another freshman, redshirt freshman actually. But yeah, this Indiana team, as we've said before, is just absolutely stacked with freshmen. A young team, only a few seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Westbeld, the main one, she's been having a really good game from Kettering, Ohio. That's a Fairmont. Michigan on the other side has a decent amount of young talent too, but has a few more seniors. Kiara Shannon, who we haven't seen tonight. Actually, that may be the only senior on the roster for Michigan. A lot of freshmen and juniors.
Yeah, Michigan lost a lot of seniors this past year. They lost 7 seniors, and they're coming out with a pretty new lineup. But they've played very well. They played very well for not having much college experience overall, and so we're looking to see how that keeps going for the Wolverines. 7-2 here early on in the third set, tied at 1 set apiece. Krotowski now to serve, handled by Indiana. Up for a spike attempt there by Tommy Stockham, and the ball flies right out of bounds and hits the official actually on the leg. And he
easy call for him.
Yeah.
He felt that call.
He knew where it was, and looks to be 8-2 now for the Wolverines. Substitution now for the Hoosiers. Number 11, Brianna Edward, comes in for Ashley Zuloff.
Krotowski to serve. She's been killing it for the Wolverines at the net and in her service.
Krotowski sends the ball over, handled by Hoosiers, set up by Westbeld. And looks to be a great attempt there by Morgan Geddes. Cross-court spike right deep in the corner there on the Michigan side. Point there for the Hoosiers, stopping that 6-0 run by Michigan. 3-8 now. Morgan Geddes to serve for Indiana. Geddes serves, handled by Malinowski. Scotty Johnson steps the ball up. Maruzic, cross-court spike, handled by Haley Armstrong. Haley Armstrong up to Westbeld. Westbeld now passed the ball to Brianna Edwards. Brianna Edwards gets a spike attempt, and she got the ball in play on the Michigan side. Point Hoosiers, 4-8. Morgan Geddes to serve again. L formation for the Wolverines. Right off Hannah Grant's face.
Wow.
That was a double hit, it looks like, but they do not call that. Tipped the net by Scotty Johnson. Hannah Grant gets the ball back in the air. Jess Maruzic blocked at the net by Indiana Hoosiers. Scotty Johnson now tests the ball up again. Jess Maruzic tries again, and it's tipped the net blocked by Indiana. big time spike attempt by Tommy Stockholm. Looking for a tip there on the Michigan side. The ball sails out of bounds, but could not get it. 9-4 now. Crazy play there overall.
Yeah, just blew it over there. Michigan will take the easy point. Paige Jones checks back in for Humphrey for the Wolverines. We've yet to see Paige Jones get going here for the Wolverines. We'll see if she can maybe get red hot here.
Maruzic up. She gets the ball over. Indiana gets the ball back into play. Jess Robinson now, cross-court spike. Looks like she calls a interference on the net again there by Indiana. They've done that multiple times this evening. And interference in the net or interference in the first quarter box there.
Yeah.
Looks like actually for Indiana side. Easy point 10-4 now. Indiana dumps the ball over and Michigan digs it up. Back into play, just Robinson sends the ball over. Indiana digs the ball up again, and Michigan gets the ball. Hannigan running all over the floor, trying to get it back into play. Paige Jones runs over, and Maruzic ends up getting the ball back into play. Haley Armstrong up to Westbeld. Westbeld over to Brianna Edwards. Brianna Edwards smacks the ball down onto Hannah Grant, and Hannah Grant tries digging the ball up, but cannot get the ball into play. 5-10 now. Indiana is behind by 5 points only.
Yeah, Hannah Grant almost had that dig, just a little too quick a spike there. 10-5, Michigan still has this lead. Indiana trying to crawl back in this third set.
Stockham serves, handled by Maruzic. Scotty Johnson up. Jess Robinson blocked the net. Scotty Johnson up again. Hannah Grant sets the ball up to Paige Jones. Paige Jones looking for the kill. Haley Armstrong gets the ball. Westbeld up to number 3, Tommy Stockham. Tommy Stockham from the back spikes the ball over and handled by Michigan. Maruzic now from the back. Maruzic, real strong spike there. Winner for Maruzic, 11-5. Hannah Grant starting from Michigan.
Yeah, really clean play there by the Wolverines. Got themselves handled, and Maruzic throws it by all 6 Hoosiers right into the back line. Didn't touch a thing.
Hannah Grant now serves. Haley Armstrong digs the ball up. Westbeld over to Edwards. Edwards gets the ball. Hannah Grant just sends the ball back over. Now Westbeld up again to Edwards, and Edwards this time cross court right by Hannah Grant, right on the line. 11-6 now, 6-11. Indiana behind.
Yeah, the Hoosiers have really been utilizing that cross court spike. I think catching the Wolverines off guard a few times.
And Cole Heed now to serve. Maruzic gets the ball up. Scotty sets the ball to Paige Jones. Paige Jones looking for the kill. Kayla Bear gets the ball back up after the block. Jess Maruzic coming in from the back end, dumps the ball over to Indiana defenders, but Indiana gets it back into play. Kayla Bear now tries her own hand at spiking the ball, and it flies off a hand there. Morgan Geddes, and it flies out of bounds. 12-6 now. Michigan has doubled its lead. 12-6.
Yeah, 6 points, the largest lead Michigan has had today. I think the largest lead any team has had. Michigan much cleaner on the bump set spike routine this set, and a chance to extend this lead. It's Johnson to serve for the Wolverines.
Scotty Johnson serves. Westbeld sets the ball back up to play and kind of dumped over by Indiana. Now Jess Maruzic from the back end spikes the ball over and is handled by Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson, Jess Maruzic running out of bounds, trying to get the ball, and Hannah Grant just bumps the ball high in the air over to the Indiana side. Westbeld over to Edwards. Edwards cross court. Great spike there. Finds the end line on the Michigan side. Beautiful point. 12-7.
I've noticed Michigan hasn't done as good a job as Indiana in terms of blocking some of these spikes. It seems like Indiana is doing a much better job at the net this game, but Michigan still has the lead in this one. 12-7.
Fitzner to serve for the Hoosiers. Paige Jones looking for another kill. And the ball falls off of Emily Fitzner and hits the net. And
maybe that'll be the play to get Paige Jones going here.
She
gets to serve here.
First kill of the third set. Paige Jones to serve now. Paige Jones has a beautiful serve. Real high risk, high reward kind of serve, but when it goes in, it's pretty tough to handle by any team. She serves again. Handled by Indiana. Set up by Westbeld, and Morgan Geddes gets the ball. Hannah Grant up to Maruzic. Maruzic blocked at the net there by Indiana. Falls out of bounds. 14-7 now.
What a play by Hannah Grant when she had to bump that one from basically the back line, and she sets up her teammate perfectly for the set. I always think that's a fun play when they bump it into a perfect spike.
Yeah. Beautiful play there by Hannah Grant to time that spike along with Jess Mruzik's jump. Paige Jones serves. Handled by Stockham. Paige Jones gets the spike attempt there by Brianna Edwards, and the ball kind of flies in the air, and the next Michigan player was too far to handle it, and Indiana gets to score the point, 8-14 now. Michigan still has a pretty commanding lead here in the third set. However, things can slip very fast, so they got to keep their head on the game.
Exactly right.
Savannah Colheed to serve now. Scotty Johnson sets the ball up. Kayla Bear, beautiful spike attempt right down the line on the left side, and she finds the line, and she gets the point, 15-8. Michigan has consistently fought back whenever they lose a point. They get the point right back the next point after. And that's part of the reason why they have a 7-point lead here, 15-8. Kayla Bear to serve. Kayla Bear serves over. Haley Armstrong was going to get it, but Tommy Stockham sets the ball back over. Scotty Johnson up in the air. Paige Jones sets the ball up to just Mruzek on the left side. She spikes the ball too far, and the ball is past the end line, 15-9. 9-15 now for Indiana. And I'll stop talking.
Hannah Grant checks back in. And it's the libero. Haley Armstrong going to serve, 15-9. Michigan holding on to this lead, and yet trying to fight back into it.
Haley Armstrong sends the ball over. Paige Jones bumps it up, sets it up for Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Mruzek, blocked at the net by Indiana, right on the Michigan side, 15-10 now. 10-15.
It was Colheed and Geddes, both freshmen from Texas and Ohio, respectively. They've been extremely good at the net, keeping these Michigan hitters in check.
Haley Armstrong now. Paige Jones, Scotty Johnson, Mae Petoskey. Blocked at the net, out of bounds on the Indiana side, 16-10. Mae Petoskey another kill. Beautiful game here by Mae Petoskey this evening. She's been playing extremely well here.
Yeah, she seems like she gets set up from Scotty Johnson a lot with the perfect set there. Freshman from Dayton, Ohio.
Petoskey. Handled by Stockham. Westbeld up, back to Stockham. Hannah Grant handles it. Scotty Johnson just kind of bumps the ball over. Able to be handled. Westbeld over to Morgan Geddes. Morgan Geddes blocked to the net by Michigan. Out of bounds on the Michigan side. Oh, unfortunate. Michigan misplay there by Indiana. Indiana hits the net.
Yeah,
they
had
Michigan.
That point.
Indiana hits the net on that, then the ball falls out. It was not hit by Michigan. Point Michigan, 17-10.
I'd like to see Michigan maybe try to tap it over like they did a few points ago more often, especially when Indiana sends 3 blockers to the net.
Petoskey sends the ball over, handled by Indiana. Westbeld up again, sets the ball up to Geddes. And
another error here by the Hoosiers. I think Geddes may have hit the net again.
And you can't make these mistakes here when you're trying to get back into a set like they are currently right now, down 18-10, and number 18 serving for Mae Petoskey. So Mae Petoskey looking for another point here. She has had so many points off her own service, and it all starts with a great first serve. Surprised
Steve Aird, the Indiana head coach, has not called a timeout yet. And Petoskey hits it off the net.
Petoskey, right after I say that, Petoskey hits the ball off the net and rolls out of bounds, and the point goes for the Hoosiers. 11-18 now.
Malinowski checks back in for the Wolverines. Geddes to serve.
Geddes serving from the right side. Falls in line. Hannah Grant, up Scotty Johnson. Robinson, handled by Indiana. Westbeld, up to Stockham, blocked to the net. Scotty Johnson up to Jess Robinson, and it is handled by the libero, Haley Armstrong. Over to Stockham again for the slight spike there, and the ball gets sent back over by Hannah Grant, right back over on the Indiana side. And the ball kind of just trickles onto their own end line.
One of those kind of 50-50 plays that can go either way, and Michigan wins it.
19-11.
Yeah, if Indiana's going to try to win this set, they're going to have to start making a comeback right about now. Mruzek to serve for the Wolverines.
Jess Mruzek, the star freshman here for the Wolverines. Sends the ball over. Haley Armstrong up to Westbeld. Westbeld over to Colheed. Colheed handled by Paige Jones. Paige Jones over to Mruzek. Mruzek comes in from the end line, tries to spike it way past the opposite end line on the Indiana side, and the ball falls out of play. 19-12 now. Stockham to serve. Tommy Stockham to serve. Sends the ball over, handled by Hannah Grant. Up for Paige Jones from Scotty Johnson. Blocked right at the net by Westbeld and Colheed. Beautiful block attempt there by the Indiana Hoosiers, and they're clawing back into this one, 13-9.
Colheed and Westbeld on duty there, denying Paige Jones at the net. Stockham to serve.
She serves, handled by Maruzic. Scotty Johnson sets the ball up. Paige Jones on the opposite side. Beautiful kill attempt there, blocked at the net by Indiana, and could not be handled by Morgan Geddes. And Michigan wins the point. First one to 20 here, 20-13. Hannah Grant serving for the Michigan Wolverines, the libero, wearing white this evening. Morgan heads the ball over. Indiana gets the ball back over to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson just dumps the ball past every Indiana player, and it falls in on the Indiana side, 21-13 now.
Yeah, Scotty Johnson saw that near side corner was wide open, just taps it over with her left hand. We haven't seen Michigan utilize that as much as Indiana this game. I don't know why teams just really don't do that more often. Whenever they do it, it seems to work. Nice play there by Scotty Johnson. Yeah. Michigan up 21-13.
Maybe if you do it too much, it might get like used too often. But I still feel like maybe they should use it more often. Yeah,
it's like I said, especially when Indiana seems to be sending 3 blockers almost every single time, and it seems like Michigan hasn't had too much success spiking it. So maybe start using that more often. It worked right there. But Michigan in a good spot here as Indiana calls timeout. Just needs 4 more points to close out this set and go up 2-1 on the match. Good to see a lot of these non-revenue sports back for a lot of these college athletics. There was a pretty big criticism back in the fall when football was the only sport back, and some of the smaller sports like soccer, volleyball, which are typically played partly in the fall, were not back, and I'm sure that had to do with some the money. But now it seems like most of the sports have been able to handle it pretty well, and are back up and running.
I agree. It's good to see these small revenue sports back. I like calling them. I like seeing them. So.
Yeah.
Hannah Grant serving again, 21-13. Sends the ball over.
Oh.
Beautiful service ace there by Hannah Grant. Could not be handled by Tommy Stockham. And easy point there by Hannah Grant right down the line, actually. And Mia Petrovsky is bowing to her on the bench. Beautiful serve there by Hannah Grant.
Always fun seeing the libero get an ace.
Hannah Grant looking for another point here off her serve.
Whoa.
Way out of bounds there by number 16.
What a play there.
Great play by Westfeld. Runs into the scorer's table. Gets the ball back into play. Right at Michigan side. Kayla Bear tries to get the ball over and blocked at the net by Indiana. Indiana gets the ball back into play on the Michigan side. And Scotty Johnson over to Jess Maruzic. Blocked at the net there by Indiana. And it looked like Michigan touched the ball, touched the net there on the play. And an unfortunate error there by the Michigan Wolverines. Great play there by Westfeld. Literally running into the scorer's table.
And that's why it has padding. Oh my goodness. Almost knocking over the monitor there. Almost killing the scores official.
Westfeld putting her body in the line for a point here. Indiana sends the ball over. Miss hit there by Malinowski. Beautiful serve overall by Colheed. And the Hoosiers have another point. 15-22 now. Colheed serving again. Sends the ball over. Handled by Malinowski. Scotty Johnson up in the air from Maruzic. Maruzic on the end line. Serves the ball down. Right on the end line there by Maruzic. Beautiful spike, 23-15 now.
Armstrong will check back in for Colheed. Michigan needs 2 more points here. 1 more point to get to set point. It's going to be Scotty Johnson to serve for the Wolverines.
Scotty Johnson serving from the right side. Serves the ball over in her left hand. Beautifully placed there by Westfeld. Up in the air for Layla Blackwell. She spikes the ball back down on the Michigan side and wins the point, 23-16.
Yeah, Blackwell Sends it right past the libero for the Wolverines. Hannah Grant. Indiana will need a few points in a row. See if they can do it. Fitzner to serve.
Fitzner serves the ball. Nice tap over there. Hannah Grant up to Sky Johnson, up to May Petrovsky. Bump over. Did not get the off chance. The Hoosiers are able to get the ball back over. Hannah Grant up to May Petrovsky. May Petrovsky now for a spike attempt right under the outstretched arms of Haley Armstrong. She cannot get the ball. 24-16 now. 8 set points here for the Wolverines.
Petrovsky again. She's been killing it this set. And the Michigan Wolverines have set point for the first time. It's Paige Jones to serve.
Paige Jones serving from the middle of the court. She sends the ball over.
Ooh.
And it is past the end line of the Hoosier side. Service error there by Paige Jones. A little screen there on the bench from Indiana trying to throw off Paige Jones may have worked a little bit. And now Ashley Zuloff now to serve for Indiana. Tapped over, Paige Jones up in the air, Sky Johnson. Sky Johnson up to May Petrovsky. Cross-court spike. Beautiful play there by May Petrovsky. 25-17. Set point for set number 3 for the Wolverines. 25-17. And here we are. Michigan now 1 set away from winning this match in 4 sets. And Indiana is going to try to come back and win this 4th set now to send this game to a 5th set.
I really feel like that was the first set that Michigan looked, in complete control the entire time. That first set, I almost consider that a steal for Michigan. But a steal is a win. So now Michigan, with the momentum here, up 2-1, a chance to close it out here in the 4th set. And really just kind of behind the lead of Petrovsky, who had a really good set there, serving and then also at the net. She's extremely special.
Beautiful play there overall in the 3rd set by Michigan throughout the entire game, throughout the entire set. What did you see was the most difference between the 2nd and 1st set and the 3rd set with the Wolverines?
I think the Wolverines had less unforced errors to begin with. They had a few service errors there in the 1st and 2nd set. And also just cleaner play. It seems like they were able to get off a few cleaner spikes and kills compared to the first 2 sets, especially behind Petrovsky. And even Bear had a few, sending it past the Hoosiers.
Yeah, great.
And also, I mean, just it goes hand in hand. But the body language of Michigan was much better in the 3rd set. Into the first 2 sets, they were a little deflated after some of their unforced errors, but really just in control here now and a chance to close it out and sweep the Hoosiers 2-0 this weekend. Send them back home to Bloomington winless.
Some great song choices out here.
Yeah.
What is the song called?
Is it Boogie?
Groove.
Oh, Let's Groove by, now I'm curious.
The DJ actually sits right next to us, so I might just ask.
It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know them for their September song.
Yes. Great song choice. Dun, 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 dun. Hey. You can see the the fans and the limited fans we have here. And some of the players even jamming along. It's pretty exciting. But here we are, 4th set coming up upon us in 30 seconds. We're looking to see whether Michigan can close this one out or whether Indiana can claw back into this and force a 5th set. And it's looking to be a fun one here down the stretch at Cliff Keen Arena here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You are listening to WCBN Sports' coverage of women's volleyball.
Petrovsky leading Michigan with 13 kills. And Jess Mruzek with 12 kills. Really, the story of the game, in my opinion, is Paige Jones with the program record 37 kills. Is that right, from last night? Only with 3 tonight. So once again, Wolverines looking to get her going. in this one, they could really close out in the fourth set with the help of her. She's extremely special as Indiana gets it started here in the fourth set.
Tommy Stockham serves for Indiana. First set of the match. Blocked there at the net after Jess Maruzik's serve, and blocked out on the Indiana side. First point for the Wolverines. Kayla Bear now to serve for the Wolverines. Sends the ball up. Westbeld. Blocked at the net. Stockholm up to Edwards. Edwards finds an open scene on the Michigan side. Point for the Hoosiers, 1-1.
Indiana got off to a slow start in set number 3 and really never made their way back into it. I bet Coach
Indiana serves. Handled by Scotty Johnson up to May Protowski. May Protowski gets another kill there. Beautifully placed. 2-1 now for the Wolverines. They leading Protowski to serve again here. And she's been serving beautifully here this evening. Looking to her to keep going. Protowski serves. As I jinx her again. She throws
Nabil, you got to stop.
She throws the ball right into the net. Kind of just dumps it in there, and 2-2 now early on. Emily Fitzner to serve for the Hoosiers, the sophomore. Spins the ball in her hand, throws the ball up, serves the ball over, handled by Humphrey. Humphrey to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson to Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson, strong spike there, unable to be corralled by Indiana. The ball flies out of bounds, 3-2. Jess Maruzik now to serve for the Wolverines. Maruzik setting on the left side. Serves, righty. Haley Armstrong, Westbeld.
Wow.
Spike down there by Layla Blackwell. Beautiful spike there. Just quick release on her arm swing, and ball game's tied 3-3 again. Ashley Zuloff now to serve.
Blackwell 6'4", using all that height on that spike.
Beautiful hit there. Malinowski dig on the floor. Just Maruzik kind of dumps it over. Tries to get some off guard. Did not. Actually up for number 16, Morgan Geddes, and she's able to beautifully. Michigan's able to beautifully let that one go, and it is now 4-3 as the ball flies out of bounds. Hannah Grant now serving for the Wolverines. Hannah Grant setting up far, far behind the end line as she runs up.
The jump serve.
Serves the ball, handled by the libero.
Whoa.
Miscommunication there at the net by Indiana, but they get the ball over. Jess Maruzik now sends the ball back over, and Haley Armstrong handles it. Up for Westbeld. Westbeld blocked at the net there by Michigan. However, Michigan touches the net on that block.
Johnson, the culprit there.
And unfortunately, point goes for the Hoosiers after a good block attempt there by Michigan. Haley Armstrong, the libero, serving. She serves up. Malinowski over to Scotty Johnson. Just moving coming from the end line. Dug up by Armstrong. Beautiful play there. And Indiana gets it back in play. Scotty Johnson up to Kayla Bear. Kayla Bear going for a traditional spike. Misses. And beautifully picked up by Indiana. Indiana plays a wonderful bump sets over. And right in the middle of 5 Michigan players.
Yeah, they all were surrounding it. Beautiful placement there by the Hoosiers, making it 5-4. They got the lead.
They all had one outstretched hand trying to pick the ball up. 5-4 now for the Hoosiers. Haley Armstrong serving again. Haley Armstrong serves, handled by Malinowski. Malinowski goes to Sky Johnson. Sky Johnson to Paige Jones. Tries to go for another kill. Misses again past the end line. And 6-4 now, the Hoosiers lead. Paige Jones has it's not been her day today.
Yeah, just a little too high there. Easy decision by the libero. Armstrong to let that one go as Malinowski checks out and Protowski checks in. Haley
Armstrong serving now. Bump serve. Hannah Grant digs down low, tries to get it over. May Prodowski. Easy play there by the Hoosiers, set up by Westbeld. Westbeld just kind of dumps the ball back over to the Michigan side, and no one's there to get it. Easy point there for the Hoosiers, 7-4.
Not entirely sure if that was a miss hit by Westbeld or not, but it worked out nonetheless. Indiana with a 3-point lead here, 7-4.
Indiana looks to be in control of this set. Haley Armstrong sends the ball over. Hannah Grant right after Kayla Bear. Kayla Bear blocked at the net but could not be corralled in by any Indiana player thereafter. And Michigan wins a point, 5-7. Scotty Johnson to serve.
Scotty Johnson with the dyed hair, purple.
I was actually just about to say that.
Purple ponytail.
Yeah.
She's
Purple
been great tonight
ponytail.
for the Wolverines.
It's easier for us to recognize her. Scotty
Yeah.
Johnson sends the ball over, handled by Stockham. Stockham up to Westbeld. Westbeld over to Morgan Geddes. Morgan Geddes tries to go across court, very deep in the court, and misses. And the point goes to Michigan, 6-7. Steve Ayers still likes that play because he knows that that's a high percentage shot. That he just was an unfortunate miss there.
Geddes has been high a few times tonight.
Scotty Johnson sends the ball right into the net. Did not hit the tape or anything, just a low serve overall. And 8-6 now. The Hoosiers lead. Geddes to serve now for Indiana. Hannah Grant up to Scotty Johnson. Over to Kayla Bear. Quick. Haley Armstrong handles it. Westbeld up to Stockham. Stockham absolutely strong hit. Hits Scotty Johnson right in the face. And Scotty Johnson kind of falls to the floor there.
Yeah, blew her back.
Yeah, and Scotty Johnson could not get the ball back into play. And Indiana now leads 9-6. Geddes serving. Hannah Grant handles. Scotty Johnson up. Paige Jones. Just kind of tries to bump over, and it is blocked at the net right down by Colheed. Easy play there by Colheed. Paige Jones could not kind of get that ball over. And it is now 10-6. Indiana leads. Paige Jones has had a really tough evening.
Yeah, just can't seem to get anything going.
You have to wonder if there's tiredness involved, or maybe she's a little bit injured. I'm not sure, but
yeah, who knows? And especially when they've been out for a lot of the season, I bet that just their conditioning levels haven't been as good. And if you're a Michigan fan, I'm sure you guys know about the 2-week pause. I don't think the teams were really able to practice whatsoever during that 2-week pause. I'm sure they did a lot of at-home conditioning, sending workouts to the players to do in their dorm room or apartment wherever they live. But back-to-back games in any sport, especially volleyball, these games tend to be long or not easy. So maybe they're just dealing with some fatigue there. I'm sure Paige Jones was very active last night. But Michigan down 10-6 here in the fourth set, looking to close it out, but Indiana off to a much better start than they were last set. A few nice spikes by Geddes. Armstrong serving well for the Hoosiers as we get back here from the break. Michigan looking to climb back into the set.
here we are back from the timeout.
Some
by Mark
mariachi
Rosen.
music being played now, a little different than
I'm not
some
complaining.
Let's Groove by the Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Indiana coming out serving. Handled by Paige Jones. Hannah Grant gets the ball back in the air. Paige Jones spikes from deep in the court. Gets the ball handled by Indiana. And Hannah Grant handles it again. After the spike attempt by Indiana. Paige Jones now goes for the kill. And she gets a miss hit by Indiana. And that is another kill for Paige Jones here in the fourth set. She's had 1 kill a set basically averaging. So she's definitely trying to do her part and get this team back in it. And Paige Jones is now serving for the Wolverines. Ball gets served over, handled by Stockham, and Westball just kind of dumps the ball over.
Nice play
Michigan
by Johnson.
runs in the play. Scotty Johnson runs over, get the ball. Hannah Grant handles it up. Scotty Johnson. Kayla Bear now tipped at the net by Indiana after the spike attempt and the ball goes way out of bounds. Point Michigan, 8-10 now.
Nice play by Scotty Johnson to keep the play alive.
Mm-hmm.
Running towards our side of the court. Saves it, and it leads to a tip out of bounds, Indiana. Michigan now is only losing by 2. Jones to serve.
Pace Jones. Ball kind of sails on her. Ball goes out of bounds. 11-8 now. Unforced error there on the serve by Pace Jones. Tommy Stockham now serving for the Indiana Hoosiers. Stockham sends the ball over, handled by Baer. Over to Johnson. Johnson over to Potofsky. And handled by Indiana. Westfeld up to Geddes. Geddes dug up by Scotty Johnson. Maruzic up in the court and kind of bumped over.
Ooh.
Set over by Pace Jones, and the ball is called out of bounds.
Just out of bounds.
Pace Jones trying to go for placement there on that shot, but the official called the ball out of bounds and looked like Indiana gets the point. 12-8. Mishit there by Pace Jones. Stockham now to serve. Stockham serves. Handled by Caleb Bear. Up Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson. Potofsky down the line. Haley Armstrong tries to get the ball back into play. And beautiful diving attempt by Stockham, but cannot get there. And Michigan wins a point, 9-12.
Armstrong almost had that one.
Yeah.
Really strong spike. Unable to handle it, though.
The reaction times of these players are incredible.
Unbelievable.
Caleb Bear.
I think maybe
spikes the ball over. And it looks like a missed formation there on Indiana's side. And easy point there for the Wolverines. And Steve Aird is not happy at all with his players. And he makes a substitution right off the bat. Easy point there for the Wolverines, 10-12 now. Caleb Bear to serve again.
Gosnell to check in for the Hoosiers. I think it's their first action of the night.
Yep, Caleb Bear gets the ball over.
And another error.
Yeah.
Not sure what it was, but Michigan gets a point.
Looks like Caleb Bear served the ball. Haley Armstrong got the ball pretty high up in the air, close to the net, and Westbeld tries to just dump it over, but she hit the net, and unfortunately it was a foul there by hitting the net by Westbeld. And so 11-12 now. Caleb Bear serving again, 3 straight points for Wolverines. Miss hit there by Gosnell, the freshman coming off the bench, and the score is tied 12-12, and Steve Aird has seen enough from his squad.
Yeah.
And he wants to take a timeout.
I think that's a 4-0 run, maybe a 5-0 run for the Wolverines. This set looking very similar to the first and second sets where Indiana took the early lead. Michigan clawed back in it around the midpoint of the set, and then a timeout by Steve Aird. So we'll see what happens, see what adjustments that Indiana makes, try to get themselves back in to this set, 12-12.
Looks like we're listening to a cover of Cake by the Ocean.
This song probably came out in
2016?
I was going to say, oh yeah, maybe 2015, 2016.
Isn't this Kevin Jonas or one of the Jonas
Brothers? It is, yeah. Before they got banded back together.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of music, the Grammys are tomorrow night at 8 Eastern.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa and Taylor Swift are probably going to win a few awards themselves.
After The Weeknd said he will never go to the Grammys again because they snubbed him.
Oh.
Or he felt snubbed. So
yeah.
He said he will never attend or perform or put up any of his music for Grammys again. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't really listen to The Weeknd that much, but
he was the performer at the Super Bowl. Okay, yeah,
yes.
That was a pretty cool performance, I thought.
Yes, that was pretty cool, honestly. Here we are back into play.
Bear serve.
Serves the ball over, handled by Gosnell. Gosnell over to Westbeld. Westbeld spike attempt by Brett Edwards, handled by Paige Jones. Paige Jones up to Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson, Justin Maruzic kind of tipped over. And beautifully placed there.
That ball going out of bounds,
yeah,
possibly.
It looked like the ball was going out of bounds, but Stockham hit the ball, and she hit the ball out of bounds. And so 13-12 now. Michigan's first lead in a while here in the fourth set. 13-12, number 13 for Michigan, serving Caleb Bear. Caleb Bear serves. The ball hits off the rafters and back into play. Beautiful play by Westfeld. Gets the ball back into play. Scotty Johnson hits the ball. Mavrovsky blocked at the net there by Edwards. Unbelievable how the rafters of the players here on the right side of Cliff Keen Arena that show all the greats of Wolverines past, kind of aiding the Indiana Hoosiers into a point there.
Michigan wishing for a second there that Abby Cole did not win All-American in 2015-2016.
Beautiful play there.
Robinson
by the Wolverines.
Gets it back.
Scotty Johnson up to Jess Robinson. Jess Robinson kind of different from her usual spikes, not down.
Yeah.
She kind of spiked the ball a little bit higher, and the ball falls into the backside of the Indiana Hoosiers side. May Petoskey now to serve. 14-13. Michigan's leading. Petoskey jump serve. Gosnell could not handle it. The freshman's had a little bit of a tough evening so far in her first couple of points. But it's good to get points. It's good to get points for the freshmen early on. And 15-13 now. Michigan has a 2-point lead.
I think a crucial part of the set here. Michigan can maybe garner a 4 or 5 point lead into the 20-point mark and then close it out. So Indiana needs to buckle down here.
Petoskey serves. Beautiful service ace there, right on the line. Absolutely gorgeous serve there.
Wow.
By Petoskey.
She's been unbelievable tonight in terms of serving and then at the net too. Star player.
I give her MVP for today's match. She's doing extremely well on both sides. Defense, offense, and serving. She's done really well. The ball hits the net on the serve. Armstrong gets the ball back in play over to Westbeld. Westbeld over to Edwards. Edwards serves the ball, block of the net. Falls on the Michigan side, 16-14. Beautiful play there off a mishit on the serve by Petoskey, by Armstrong, the libero.
Yeah, Indiana needed that one to stop the bleeding. I think Michigan was down 8-12, and now Michigan's up 16-14. So a little 8-2 run here for the Wolverines.
Indiana serves the ball.
Nice play there by Jess Robinson.
Jess Robinson gets a spike chance, and she makes it work. 17-14 now.
That's kind of her thing. She kind of has her momentum going almost one way and then spikes it the other way.
Yeah, beautiful.
She does it cleanly. Nice play there by Jess Robinson, the junior from Troy, Ohio. Or Troy, Michigan, excuse me.
There's Maruzik now to serve. Indiana gets the ball high in the air by Westbeld. Westbeld sets it up to Layla Blackwell. Blackwell just absolutely wrecks the ball down on the floor on Michigan's side and wins the point. 15-17 now. Ashley Zuloff now, the freshman, serving. Zuloff serves. Maruzik sets the ball up to Maruz. At the Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson just Robinson. Indiana is able to get the ball back to play. Indiana over back to Michigan's side. And Scotty Johnson dumps it back over to Indiana. Indiana sets the ball back on the Michigan side. Jess Maruzik now going for the kill. Got up there by Haley Armstrong. Haley Armstrong over to Blackwell. Blackwell kind of does the ball over. Hannah Grant does the ball back on the Michigan side. 50-50 shot at the net there by both teams. And looks like an Indiana player touches the net. Westfeld, I feel like Westfeld was called for that infraction. And
looks like almost both sides, both teams touching the net, but I think Westbeld was the first one to touch the net.
Yeah.
So Michigan gets a good call there.
Kind of a crazy play overall. No team getting a really set good chance
to
win the point. Both teams kind of just playing catch up on both sides. Now Hannah Grant to serve. Hannah Grant serves, handled by Edward. Edward over to Haley Armstrong. Haley Armstrong gets the bump over by Westbeld. Jess Maruza coming in from the back line. Haley Armstrong hits the ball and kind of pinballed over on Indiana's side, trying to get it over the net. And it goes over the net, but goes out of bounds. And 19-15, Michigan now 6 points away from winning this match. 19-15.
It's amazing how some of these players are able to bump it behind their head and do it pretty accurately, almost right to a outside hitter.
For sure. Hannah Grant serves.
Nice play.
And Westbeld able to get the ball up to Blackwell. Blackwell gets blocked to the net by a Michigan duo.
I think it was Bear mostly there,
and
using her length.
Michigan was the point now, 5 points away, 20-15, up by 5 and 5 points away.
Michigan does not want to go to a fifth set like they had to last night, looking to close this one out.
I'm intrigued to see the music choices now for the next minute.
Don't know this song, or I know this song, but I don't know the name of it. Michigan basketball lost today down in Indianapolis to the Ohio State Buckeyes, who will advance to the Big Ten championship. They'll play the winner of Illinois and Iowa, who are playing now. Looks like Illinois just won today, 82-71, so it'll be Illinois versus Ohio State in the men's final tomorrow. And then in terms of Michigan women's basketball, they lost on Thursday in the second round of the Big Ten tournament to the Wildcats, and they'll head down to San Antonio for their NCAA March Madness tournament. Not sure how much success the women's have had in the tournament recently, but they got a very good team this year with Naz Hillman leading the charge. So
Naz Hillman, Big Ten first team, right?
Big Ten Player of the Year.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So both the men's and women's side for basketball looking to make runs in March, as they'll start. I think the men's tournament actually starts on Friday instead of Thursday. A little weird.
A little bit different this year.
It's all different.
Hannah Grant serving. Handled by Indiana. Geddes with a spike attempt. Unable to be corralled by a Michigan team. And point for Indiana, 16-20 now. Haley Armstrong to serve. Wearing black as a libero over an old red uniformed Indiana team. Haley Armstrong serves. Merzick handles. Over to Scotty Johnson. Kayla Bear down the line, spike. And the ball flies out of bounds and actually into the basket of balls.
Yeah.
And 21-16 now for the Wolverines. Scotty Johnson serving.
If you're Indiana, you got to stop some of these Michigan outside hitters. They're having a really good fourth set in terms of the cleanness of their spikes.
Scotty Johnson serves, handled by Edwards. Edwards over by Geddes. Geddes over to Tommy Stockham. Tommy Stockham sends it over. Now Johnson sets it up for Tofsky. Tofsky, beautiful kill again. 22-16 now. 3 points away for the Wolverines, who've been in control since the end of the second set.
Yeah. They went down early in this fourth set, 12-8, but since then, I guess it's been a 12-4 run. Protosky to serve to make it 23-16.
Protosky serves. Westfeld sets up. Spike attempt there by Stockham. Stockham hits the ball and cannot be corralled in by either Hannah Grant nor Maruzic, and point for the Hoosiers, 22-17 now.
Geddes to serve.
Geddes serving from the right side. Serves in. Hannah Grant up to Johnson. Johnson, Kayla Bear. Kayla Bear, clean spike right down the middle. Beautiful, right down the gut. Was not touched by any Indiana Hoosiers team member. And absolutely crushed.
Strong spike there by Kayla Bear. 6'2", junior from Minnesota. Johnson to serve.
Indiana handles the ball. Set up there for Stockham. Stockham spikes the ball down onto a Wolverine player, and Wolverine was not able, Michigan was not able to handle that. And 23-18 now.
There's Scotty Johnson almost just defending herself. She really had no chance with that one.
Tommy Stockham to serve now for the Hoosiers. Kind of a lofty serve there. Up Scotty Johnson. Scotty Johnson to Protosky. Protosky cross court. Beautiful kill again.
Who else other than Protosky this game?
Protosky has had a wonderful evening here.
Yeah, looking at the stats, 17 kills on 27 attempts.
Yeah.
She has 3 digs herself.
24-18. 6 match points here for the Wolverines. Kayla Bear serves, hits the net. Still falls into play. Indiana handles the ball. Over to number 11, Brianna Edwards. And she finds Paige Jones there in the corner, not ready for the spike attempt, and they win the point, 24-19. Here we are, still match point for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Michigan can't let up now. Obviously a 5-point lead and 5 more match points, but
Savannah Colheed serving. Paige Jones handles. Scotty Johnson sets the ball high in the air from Ruzick. Ruzick sends a spike over. Looks like it's blocked to the net. Match point for Wolverines off a mishit on the block by the Indiana Hoosiers. And an absolute great victory here by the Wolverines. 25-19 the fourth. Michigan wins 30-28. 20-25, 25-17, 25-19 here in 4 sets in Cliff Keen Arena. Sweeping the doubleheader between Indiana and Michigan. Michigan now moves up to 4-3 on the year, and they will play next week against
Ohio State,
over
Buckeyes.
down in Columbus for their first road doubleheader, and it will be a big match for them to see how they do. And that will pretty much do it for us here at Cliff Keen Arena.
Michigan moves above the 500 mark, 4-3. Obviously, only 7 games they played so far, so Michigan will have I think they're probably going to try to make up some of their postponed games before postseason play. So Michigan will be busy these next few weeks. Hopefully, they can stay healthy and keep the winning going as Michigan wins this one in 4 sets. Good call, Nabil.
Yes.
Not bad for your first play-by-play, or maybe you've done one before.
I mean, it's definitely pretty tough.
Yeah, a lot of action going on.
Yes, thank you. For me, Nabil, and for Jack Molino, this has been WCBN's coverage of women's volleyball between Michigan and Indiana. Michigan wins it here in 4 sets. Thank you for listening, and have a good night, and go blue.